Environmental groups in Germany are calling it an ecological disaster. Thousands of fish have washed up dead along the Oder River, which runs along Germany's eastern border and then flows into Poland. Lifeless and sick fish have been present in the Oder since the end of July, over a distance of several hundred kilometers. Officials think it's likely they have been poisoned.
Dead fish are filling the shores of the Oder. Tons are washing up in the river, which helps form Germany's border with Poland. Authorities suspect that they were killed by chemical pollution. Johannes Gibbermann is an environmentalist who lives in this area. He's been documenting the crisis from its beginning.
I've never seen so many dead fish in my life.
He says the whole ecosystem of the Oder has been affected.
Here a shellfish has been separated from its shell, but both are still lying here. And it smells very strongly of rotting fish.
The Oder starts in Czech Republic and runs more than 800 kilometers to the Baltic Sea. An industrial accident in southern Poland is the suspected source of the pollution. People are being warned not to make contact with the water. Those living in this area are angry and afraid.
We have a water utility down there. No one knows what the drinking water is like now. It's a complete disaster. I'm thinking of my grandchildren, of ourselves. We won't be able to fish here anymore.
I'm angry, I'm shocked. The River Oder is part of our home, and now it's ruined, probably for the next few years. That just makes me incredibly sad.
Local municipalities say they weren't warned by German federal or Polish authorities.
We've been informed by anglers and boaters that dead fish are floating on the Oder. From the official side, that we haven't received any information beforehand. It's, to put it mildly, depressing or even incomprehensible.
Authorities have started to remove the dead fish to prevent other animals from eating them. The worry in the region is that recovery of the river could take years.
DW reporter Aaron Tilton joins me now from Frankfurt, Oder. Hello, Aaron. Authorities think it's a case of poisoning, but others are blaming climate change. Do we know for certain why all these fish have died?
Okay, well, I'm standing here on the banks of the Oder in between Germany and Poland. And for weeks now, people who have been living around the river have been pulling tons of dead fish from the waters. Now, initially, people thought that it was actually caused by the extreme heat and drought that Germany's been facing in the last several weeks. But now it seems that investigators are a little bit closer to figuring out exactly what is behind this massive fish die-off. Basically, it looks like there's been some type of release of some type of caustic or poisonous chemical from a factory in Poland. Now, we know that Polish authorities actually detected the leak sometime back in July, but for some reason, they didn't notify German authorities. They notified their own population that they should avoid the waters in and around the Oder, but they didn't notify the German government whatsoever. And the Polish government has opened a criminal investigation into the matter. They've also actually sacked 2 ministers for their slow response to actually informing the German government and investigating the matter. But so far, that's really led to some consternation on this side of the river. Basically, people I've talked to on the streets are saying that they don't understand why Poland has been so tight-lipped about this potential chemical spill, of course, because it has extreme ramifications for people living here in and around the Oder.
Yeah, and people living nearby have been told to stay away from the water. What impact is this having on the local community?
Well, a massive one, specifically because they don't actually know what this contamination, if it is indeed a contamination, actually is. I mean, there have been samples taken from the water, and they've indicated that there's the presence of some unusual salt, maybe some mercury, and also some type of organic solvent. But environmental groups and local activists don't really want to say what this is yet, because they're waiting for more extensive chemical analysis. For the local population, that means people have to stay outside of the water. People with pets have to keep their pets habitats away from the water, and of course, the fish that are present in the water can no longer be consumed. Now, of course, it's having a huge impact on tourism in the region, and also local authorities say that this is a type of damage that could take years, if not decades, to clean up. So we're looking at a major impact both on the lives and the livelihoods of people living around the river for the foreseeable future. And what's worse, this pollution is also being carried downriver towards the Baltic Sea. And of course, that is a major fishery hub for northern and central Europe. So we could be looking at a massive contamination that will really take, we could be living with for the next years, if not decades.
DW's Aaron Tilton at the Oder River. Thank you.